On the 30th of October, 2025, something unsettling made waves across the maritime world. When your ship's GPS says you're in open waters, but you're actually crossing into a war zone, you realize the sea has a new invisible enemy. Global shipping now faces a silent threat: GPS and GNSS spoofing. With rising cases worldwide, even the most advanced vessels are losing their way to invisible attacks from the digital deep. And here's where it gets terrifying. GPS spoofing isn't some sci-fi plot. It's real, it's global, and it's spreading fast across the world's busiest waters. Imagine this. A massive cargo ship worth millions suddenly believes it's somewhere it's not. The crew stares at the radar, calm sea ahead, but in reality they're drifting dangerously close to a restricted military zone. That's how powerful this invisible manipulation has become. Spoofing is basically digital trickery. Attackers falsify satellite signals that guide a ship's navigation systems, feeding them wrong coordinates that look completely real. One second, you're on course for Singapore. The next, your map insists you're off the coast of Iran. It's like a ghost hijacking your compass. The nightmare doesn't stop there. The Black Sea, Persian Gulf, and South China Sea, all hotspots for this rising interference, are now seeing ships veer off their intended paths, sometimes without anyone realizing until it's too late. Ports delay entries, cargo timing collapses, and insurance firms scramble to figure out who's at fault. For captains and maritime operators, it's chaos. A few wrong signals and they're facing sanctions, collisions, or worse, sailing blind into hostile waters. This part blew my mind. The way spoofing actually works feels almost like digital piracy. Land-based systems or even disguised vessels can blast out counterfeit GNSS signals that are stronger than the real ones coming from satellites. The ship's navigation computer, trusting what it sees, latches onto the fake signal like a magnet. From that moment, it's living in a simulation. To the crew on the bridge, everything looks normal. The radar, the coordinates, the auto navigation system, all perfectly synced, except none of it's true. The ship might appear safely miles offshore, when in reality it's drifting towards shallow reefs or restricted military zones. Some captains call it teleportation. One minute you're here, next minute you've jumped on the radar map to somewhere completely different. What makes it worse is that open water offers no second opinion. On land, you've got landmarks, backup signals, and cell towers. At sea, just sky and static. With ships now heavily dependent on automation, there's little human correction when the data goes rogue. One strong fake signal can outsmart an entire navigation suite. And in the vastness of the ocean, no one notices until it's far too late. And here's where it turns from strange to dangerous. Spoofing isn't just a tech glitch, it's a recipe for disaster. When ships get fed false coordinates, they can unknowingly drift straight into restricted or sanctioned waters. Imagine a tanker suddenly showing up inside Iranian territory on satellite maps. Even if by accident, that's an international nightmare. These mistakes trigger a chain reaction. Governments accuse ship owners of smuggling, ports block entry, and insurers freeze claims until location data is verified. Crew members face questioning, companies lose contracts, and millions of dollars get stuck in limbo. It's chaos born from invisible interference. Risk does not stop at politics. Two ships running on spoof positions could literally collide in open water, both believing the other is miles away. Some oil tankers have already reported sudden course jumps that made authorities suspect spoofing. Every incident chips away at trust between captains and control towers, between nations sharing maritime lanes. When GPS turns unreliable, the ocean becomes unpredictable. And for an industry built on precision timing and routes, losing that trust in navigation is like cutting the anchor. You're adrift in more ways than one. Just when it seemed like spoofing was bad enough, another twist emerged: the rise of the so-called dark fleet. These aren't ghost stories. They're real ships operating under the radar, literally. The dark fleet consists of vessels that deliberately tamper with their GPS to conceal illegal oil trades, dodge sanctions, or disguise their identities while moving banned cargo. They falsify routes, clone ship identities, and vanish from tracking systems like they never existed. But their deception doesn't stay contained. When these vessels flood regions with powerful spoofing signals, legitimate ships nearby get caught in the crossfire. A cargo ship just trying to deliver food or medicine suddenly finds its coordinates warped because a dark tanker nearby is scrambling the area's navigation grid. And here's the kicker. The tools used aren't homemade hacks. They're military-grade spoofing technologies now bleeding into commercial use. What started as cyber warfare tactics is now being repurposed for profit. Spoofing has quietly evolved into a geopolitical weapon, allowing nations or private networks to control maritime flow without firing a single shot. The oceans, once ruled by storms and pirates, are now battlefields of invisible signals and silent wars. Then came a moment of clarity, or maybe resistance. As spoofing threats surged, 3 companies decided to fight back: Shooty Shipping Company, NAL Research, and SGM Technology. Together, they built something called PntGuard, a breakthrough maritime navigation system made to expose and counter falsified GPS signals before they cause chaos. PntGuard isn't just another gadget on the bridge, it's a guardian. Designed as a standalone system, it detects the instant a vessel's official position gets spoofed and immediately alerts the crew. When satellite signals go dark or fake, PntGuard kicks in with verified, authenticated data so captains can still steer safely, no matter what's happening in the skies. The motivation was clear: to protect global fleets from the invisible manipulations threatening navigation safety, trade integrity, and crew lives. The brilliance lies in its simplicity. It works independently, requires minimal modifications to existing setups, and focuses purely on truth, your ship's true position. For the maritime industry, PntGuard marked a turning point. It wasn't just tech innovation, it was a declaration that the sea might be unpredictable, but navigation no longer had to be. This part is where it gets seriously impressive. PntGuard isn't just a patch for broken GPS, it's a full-blown shield built for the digital battlefield. Instead of relying on the same vulnerable satellite channels as traditional GPS, it taps into Iridium's low Earth orbit satellite network, which sends signals nearly 1,000 times stronger than standard GPS. That power alone makes it far more resistant to both jamming and spoofing attempts. Here's how it looks on deck. An above-deck receiver constantly scans for incoming data, while a bridge display shows 2 parallel positions, the falsified one and the verified real one. It's like having a truth meter for your ship. The moment something seems off, PntGuard flashes a warning so the crew knows exactly when their GPS has been compromised. And the best part? You don't need to rebuild your navigation system from scratch. PntGuard can slide right into existing setups with minimal changes. A true plug-and-play defense for modern fleets. In an industry where downtime costs millions, that easy installation isn't just convenient, it's crucial. PntGuard gives ships the power to see through digital fog and stay firmly on course. But PntGuard doesn't stop at navigation. It takes the fight one step further: authentication. It's not just correcting bad data, it's proving what's real. Every position the ship takes is recorded, verified, and stored as an authenticated digital log. That means every movement can be proven later, something no ordinary GPS offers. This feature is a game changer for compliance and insurance. When a vessel faces accusations of entering restricted waters or violating sanctions, the company can instantly produce verifiable records showing where it truly was. Shore offices can even request proof of position in real time, turning every ship into a floating black box of truth. Those records become lifelines in legal disputes, sanction clearances, or accident investigations. Instead of relying on corrupted GPS data, insurers and regulators get hard evidence. It's security that extends beyond the sea, into boardrooms, courtrooms, and compliance reports. For an industry constantly walking a tightrope between risk and responsibility, PntGuard gives something rare: digital honesty. When every signal can be faked, trust itself becomes the most valuable cargo on board. Now here's where theory met the real ocean. Before going public, PntGuard spent months at sea in intense trials with international ship owners, sailing through some of the world's busiest and most interference-prone waters. These weren't lab conditions. They were full-scale voyages where real ships faced real spoofing and jamming scenarios. The goal was simple. Could PntGuard hold its ground when everything else failed? The answer was a confident yes. One of the most telling pilots came with DNK, Norway's maritime war risk insurer. They don't deal in hypotheticals. They insure vessels navigating zones where spoofing and signal interference are a daily threat. Their feedback? PntGuard didn't just detect attacks, it exposed them in real time, giving crews a level of situational awareness they'd never had before. Then came independent verification through the Jammer Test program in Andøya, Norway, where systems are stress-tested under extreme interference. PntGuard passed those tests with flying colors, staying stable even as other devices lost signal or drifted off course. For the maritime world, that was a statement. Not only could PntGuard see through deception, it could do it under pressure, out in the open sea where it truly counts. And here's the exciting part. PntGuard isn't just a prototype or pilot project anymore. It's ready to go fleet-wide. The system is available for immediate deployment, capable of scaling across both small commercial ships and massive international fleets. Its design makes it equally suited for commercial shipping, defense operations, and offshore energy sectors, where accuracy and trust are non-negotiable. This isn't just one company's innovation. It's the result of a powerful partnership blending Schuette's maritime operations expertise, NAL Research's satellite communication mastery, and SGM Technology's vessel systems engineering. Together, they've built something that bridges navigation, safety, and data integrity into a single platform. But the story doesn't stop here. The technology behind PntGuard is already being eyed for integration with autonomous vessels and digital port systems, forming a foundation for the next generation of smart maritime logistics. As ships become more automated, their navigation security must evolve too. And PntGuard could be that missing link. In a world where invisible interference is rewriting the rules of the sea, this system gives ships one thing they've been losing fast: confidence in the truth of their own position. So where does all this lead? The rise of GPS spoofing has exposed something bigger than just faulty navigation. It's rewriting the rules of global trade security. When digital interference can push a ship off course, it doesn't just endanger one crew, it shakes the foundation of global commerce built on timing, accuracy, and trust. Every manipulated signal ripples across supply chains, ports, and economies. That's why systems like PntGuard aren't just optional upgrades anymore. They're becoming necessities. Authenticated navigation may soon be as standard as radar or life jackets. The idea of an anti-spoofing certification is already being discussed among insurers and maritime regulators, a seal that says your vessel can't be fooled by fake data. But here's the truth. Technology alone can't save the seas. Spoofing doesn't just attack machines, it exploits human confidence. That's why the next frontier in maritime safety isn't just smarter systems, but smarter crews. Awareness, training, and global cooperation will be the real armor against invisible threats. Because when every ship speaks the same digital language of truth, the oceans become safer for everyone. The oceans may be vast, but today's threats are invisible. As GPS spoofing turns navigation into deception, innovations like PntGuard remind us, trust at sea must be earned, verified, and defended. The next great maritime challenge isn't the storm outside, it's the one inside the signal. Like, share, and subscribe for more.